Gigi, you're our guest here for today. So the second quarter, we're talking about it. Who should the New York Liberty protect in the expansion draft? So, Gigi, who do you have up first? Who do you think will be an absolute, no questions asked, they will be protected?
Breanna Stewart.
Stewie. That seems pretty evident. Pretty evident.
And Brian, I love that she's on a year-to-year basis with her contract too. Like she's gonna push for more money. Like the contract breakdown is so cool for the Liberty too. And we'll get into it if you guys think Sluty will stay or not. But if she goes, that could free up some more space too. But Breanna Stewart's gonna get paid. I don't think she'll go for the Supermax next year. I don't think she really needs it, because of endorsement deals and the chance of winning back-to-back. So I think Stewie will stay. But yeah, I think she'll just keep going year to year. But that doesn't mean she doesn't believe in the team.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, Stewie has basically said that that's something that she wants to do. I think a lot of that could also do with a pending new CBA. And so that is a part of it. I agree. I say Stewie. Brian, what say you?
My next protected player will be JJ. I feel like Jonquel is the sort of anchor of everything going forward. So keeping her here, keeping her sort of in prime position is going to be an automatic.
Gigi, what say you about JJ?
Oh, absolutely. I like the fact that she was surprised she was MVP. I'll never get over that moment. That might be one of my favorite moments from the season, because it's like, what? Of course. So yeah, you need JJ. She is the glue. They don't win in the postseason this year, last year without her.
I know that's right. Okay, I think those three are pretty straightforward. Thank you, Alpage 89 Prudential. So it was the Prudential Center. I wasn't sure if it was the Prudential Center. Word on the street, Becky Hammond was at the parade. What? Let me find out. Okay, that's like, we might have to keep this for the fourth quarter, because I definitely have some thoughts. And we're going to circle back to this maybe in a topic that I have planted for the fourth quarter anyway, but just want to go back to what Damian was saying. Suix, Rebecca Lobo, Teaspoon getting to witness history in the making after 27 years of frustration. Hey, listen, I loved, again, that the legends got to see it. I love that Teaspoon was there. And I'll keep it a buck. Selfishly, I was also glad that she was free from any responsibilities to any other WNBA team. So she could just go out and enjoy the streets, and look like she did. So I'm happy for her. Okay, coming back to our second quarter. Ooh, where do I want to go with this one? Ooh. I mean, I outlined my 6, but I think I have to go with Sabally. Listen, that is JJ being surprised that she won MVP. Nyara Sabally, during the game, after the game, at the parade, at the celebration, getting the crowd to cheer her name. Like, when you play for New York and New Yorkers give you that love, that's real. That's earned. That is earned. For me, Nyara Sabally might have earned herself a spot on the protected list after Game 5. Brian, I'm going to come to you first. What are your thoughts on Nyara Sabally?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the team has really gradually built her along, and really, especially from last year, as she was getting reacclimated to playing basketball again, and this year, having her play more with JJ and Stewie in various lineup combinations, it felt like the confidence was growing game by game. And then in Game 5, we saw the entire star package from her. So I feel like having her protected is going to be super valuable. And I think for next year as well, with the expanded schedule, you're going to want to give players rest, like JJ and Stewie, keep their minutes a little bit low so you keep them fresh for the postseason. And having a big like Nyara who can play both roles, play with each of them successfully, gives the team a lot more versatility and fun options to go with.
Rafiq, you just hang on to that thought. We got something for you on today's episode. We got something for you. All right, Gigi, what are your thoughts? Do you think Nyara can work her way into one of the 6 protected players that will never see the light of day, at least to the public? Like, we won't officially know who's protected, which Anyway, not that I have thoughts. It's fine. It's
Okay, this is when I like in game 5, I started thinking about it and I'm like, okay, you're not going to forget her. And I love Sabrina's quote after the game. She was just trying to celebrate. Someone's like, what do you think about Nyara? And she was like, all I could say was, yes, Nyara. And I'm like, there's so much to say beyond that. But like, I get the point. Like, Nyara was so clutch. They obviously, again, like in game 5, they don't win without her. Yeah. And I also like that she contributes, like Brian says, like you need to give Jonquel and Stewie rest. Like if you didn't think they needed rest last year, you definitely know this year. And then you want to just keep on bringing them back. So like rest them up, keep them healthy.
That's it.
And she could contribute like she contribute like average 2 rebounds in the postseason this year. She has the Oregon connection with Sab. The reason why this took me so long to be like, okay, yes, even though obviously I was convinced after game 5 that she has it, is because I don't want to see Kayla Thornton go. But that being said, I'm not saying they're the same player, they do the same job, but I'm just thinking about the numbers, how many players you expect. Another reason why I would go with Nyara beyond the clutch gene she had is she's so young. Kayla Thornton's like 8 years into the league. Nyara's this is her 2nd season, and they're building this team with her in mind. So yeah, I would definitely core Nyara. I thought about this for a while though, because I think like the Liberty, you keep your starting 5, but then where do you tweak from there? I think it does make sense to keep her.
Yeah, that was tough, and someone else also bringing up Sloot. That's going to be a conversation as well. Okay, so we're gonna go to our next pick. So we've got 3, right? Or 4. Sabally makes 4. So we said JJ, Stewie, and Nyara. Okay, so we're at 3. All right, Brian, I'm gonna come to you. Who do you think will be protected player number 4?
Keeping the Oregon connection, you just lock up Sabrina, be like, hey, let your hand heal up. We'll talk to you in May. Rest up. We'll see you next spring.
I mean, I think it's safe to say we all agree on that, Gigi.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, I know there's been a lot of conversation in the WNBA Twitter streets about whether Sab might want to go back west. That's where her home is. We know she was at Nike headquarters, getting her shoes bronzed or whatever. However, I think the most confident I've ever been, and listen, you can say anything you want after you win a championship, especially if you got a little champagne in you. But I believed Sab when I can't remember the exact quote, and I wish I would have thought to pull the video. But when she was asked basically like if she wants to run it back, like she sounded like she was really trying to be an honorary New Yorker, like Spike Lee really popped the New York genes straight into her veins. So I'm gonna go on hope. I know those colorways were a little concerning. the Golden State Valkyries got the same colorway as the Sab 2s, but I think we're gonna see Sab stick around. That being said, it's a no-brainer. You protect Sabrina Ionescu in the expansion draft, so they can figure all that out down the road. But she coming back. Okay, Gigi, let's go to you. So who do you think then? So we have JJ, we have Sabrina Ionescu, we have Stewie, Nyara. Who do you think is player number 5?
I'm going Miss Bucket B herself, Betnijah Laney-Hamilton. I think I've said it for years now, she's the glue of the New York Liberty team, culture, defensively, scoring wise. I loved seeing her in the starting rotation. Also, like, I think you could be concerned about her health, and I get that. But what scares me about Betnijah, yes, it's the health, but she's such a workhorse. Like, she'll always work through injury. She actually probably shouldn't have come back as quickly as she did. As the team continues to shape, she shapes with it. Like, she's such a strong player. And what concerns me is people being too obsessed with stats. Like, you could see the stat drop off in points per game because there's not enough ball to go around for her to continue to average 15 points a game. That can't happen. But she has her games where she's going off. And I really, really like Betnijah. And I don't think the New York Liberty is the same without her for so many reasons. So I actually would have to core her before a player that a lot of people really, really grew to love this year. And I think we're going to talk about her too. But
Okay. I'm here for it. I love it. I do wonder, we have one more spot. Kayla Thornton could be in that spot. I think we have another German connection that can be there. I do think, I've said this for a while, that the New York Liberty having a true point guard to work alongside Sabrina Ionescu is critically important. And even though, Brian, you and I have talked about this a lot, having multiple ball handlers, which includes Stewie, sometimes dang near JJ, like this Liberty team has that versatility. They have a lot of faith and confidence that they can get into their half court sets with basically anyone bringing up the ball. I still, we're moving towards a more quote unquote positionless basketball. I still think you need a 1 and you still need a 5, but that's how I feel. That being said, and I don't know if we all agree on this one, so I'm really curious. I'm really curious how this is going to go. So we've got one more spot. So we're going to do this. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and then we say the name. All right. Are y'all ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Leo. We did it. Alan was just talking about they can get that point guard in the draft. She said, don't worry about it, sweetheart. All right, Brian, you said Leo. Well, we all said Leo. Why are you going with Leo?
I think having a player like Leo who really, I think in games 3, 4, and 5, we saw her really tap into different aspects of her game. Like they were running plays for her in the post, like coming off screens, really having a full, just sort of like exploring her game in a really fun, unique aspect gives them another great option to work with. And I think especially for Leo, one thing about her is that she don't scare. Like, so when the team is like really cold, Leo gets it and she's open, she's like, I'm wide open. Why wouldn't I take that shot? What's to worry about? So it's a very sort of like cool demeanor that always helps, especially with a team like this that plays high stakes basketball all the time. So having a player like Leo who's calm under pressure, can make big plays, is really a better passer than she sometimes gets credit for, and is a really sort of like crafty, rangy defender. Like one of the things that Becky Hammond, like she gave her such a great compliment. I asked her about Leo. She's like, she's really long. Like I don't know what we could do about that. And you can see the respect that opponents have for her already and just how good she is. And I think especially now that she's in her second year in the league and she presumably won't have ticky-tack fouls calling her by refs now that they know her a little bit more. So there's more comfort in that regard. So it really feels like there's an opportunity for her to really blossom even more. And I think she's still crazy young too. She's like 23, 24. So having another young pillar on this team really allows the Liberty to really have that. It's not we're past hybrid rebuild, but it's like hybrid championship contender, where it's like, oh, we have our vets and then we have our young people that are really good and getting better. So you almost have the best of both worlds if you're Jonathan Kolb, Sandy, and the Liberty staff.
Okay, let's hear, Gigi, what you have to say. We all said Leo. What's your take on it?
My take, guys, like if you did, I know everybody listening is a fan of Leo now. She pulls up for 3, transition 3 in game 5. Are you joking? Like she has that. I forget what word did you use, Erica? You were like, she's a gamer. I forget what you said.
I don't even remember. Like, what word did I not say to talk about Leo? Like, I just like she's a baller. She's a hooper. She's got the ice in her veins. She is like just a pillar out there. Like, ain't afraid of nobody. I ain't never scared. If I ain't never scared was a WNBA player, is Leo. Like, just take the song, and that is Leo. Like, so I don't even know. I hope that answered your question.
No, thank you. It did more. Like, we needed all that context too. Like, this is a player that kind of took the world by surprise. She got drafted the same year as Sabrina. Like, now, second round pick. Now she's one of those players that you remember for having some great games in the regular season, like averaging like 7 points and then like 12 points in the postseason, not afraid to back down from a challenge. she's so exciting, and she's 6'4". Yeah, she's long, and a lot of people respect her, and she makes other coaches' jobs really hard. That's why I'm protecting her. I'm sorry, Courtney Vandersloot. We're not protecting you. The Liberty needed like a 3-and-D player. That's what Jonathan Kolb said last year. That's what they were going to look for. They got that and more. And I think Leo even surprised Sandy. And I think that's the beauty of it too. Like, she kind of just knew the fact that she didn't really have a ceiling and just showed up and hooped. And I think if the Liberty want to stay on the attack and not try and play defense of like, oh, let's protect our championship. Now we have it. Like, let's keep going. You need Leo.
You need Leo, period. Ronnie agrees. Leo, that 3-and-D, like you said, love it. So this is interesting. A lot of people have speculated on this. Sloot retires. Stewie takes a little less. Kelsey Mitchell signs. Now this is interesting because Kelsey Mitchell has been through a lot of, I don't know what you want to call it over there in Indiana, Brian. And then maybe they got a different name. Hybrid rebuild, retool, re-up the earth. I don't know what they've been doing over there. They trying to figure it out. Kelsey Mitchell been patient. She been patient, y'all. Now is she gonna wait around to see how long the white era takes to take off? I don't think it will realistically be that long. They made the playoffs. You know, they were able to fight and get their way out of fighting just for that 8 spot. But I mean, if Kelsey Mitchell ain't want to wait, I'll understand. I will understand. Now, does she fit this team? That's interesting. You know, I can't say I've given it a lot of thought. I'll say I don't think I hate it. I don't think I hate it. But but I don't know if it's like the perfect point guard situation.
Yeah. I feel like
even a point guard. Like, see, this is where I don't even know who is a point guard these days, man. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, it's so trippy because the new starting 5 really sort of like built that perfect chemistry throughout the season. And then when the playoffs came, like as soon as game 1 hit against Atlanta, they were like on it. And they were fully locked in, dialed in, and they really sort of present the perfect blend of what you want in a basketball team. Switchable, lengthy, strong, can take multiple assignments, can do all these things well. And you have there are no sort of weak spots on offense. Like you can run plays for like literally every player in that starting 5. So it's like, do you really want to tinker with that if you don't have to? And then there's the you know, all-star guard who used to have the ball in their hands a lot, and it's and if there were ever a situation where she came here, it's like you've got to turn your game down because you have other champions and all-stars here who can really get down the business like that. So you're not gonna be able. Oh boy!
I'm sorry, this made me laugh. I don't think it's not true though.
Yeah.
It's like
that's kind of left unsaid.
It's a different version of unquick. Gigi, I used to have a thing. I had to retire it because Sab put me in my place. But I would be like, listen, I'm not saying she's slow, but that first step is unquick. It's an unquick first step. It's unquick. It was unquick for a little bit there.
If I was like an athlete walking in and a coach is like, man, you're unquick, I probably would hang it up right there. I'd take the shoes off. I would retire. That's the first
step. Come on, let's be real. Because once she gets like them legs going, we're good.
Right.
But that first step was a little concerning sometimes. Just the first one.
You could take credit for how efficiently she drove to the hoop this year.
There you go. She was like, that damn gotta get up podcast. Hashtag unquick. Forget y'all. She's like, I'm unquick all the way to the championship. You got that? You're welcome. You're welcome. Whiteboard material. Oh man. No, I get you. Putting it 2 out of 1. Now I know what you meant. But also some of that other stuff, just like within like there's just little things that I'm like, we might have another hashtag. I don't know, but that's not the player actually who is a UFA that I wanted to talk about coming to the New York Liberty, because if you saw literally any of the parade celebration, if you were watching the finals, you probably saw 2 Saballys in the clips. That is because Satou became the biggest Nyara cheerleader. I'm here for it. She held it down for little sis, and I loved to see it. But of course, that led people to speculate, dream, fantasize. Like, I don't know what you want to call it. Could we potentially see 3 Oregon Ducks on this New York Liberty squad?